My name is Ida Halliburton, and we're here at the State Line Generating Plant in Hammond, Indiana, with some of the members of the Hammond branch of the NAACP. We came out here today to check out this plant because it is a coal-burning plant, and it is in our area, in our neighborhoods, and we know that plants like this are being shut down in other places, but the minority areas, these plants continue to function in our area, and we are finding out that there are a lot of health-related illness come from us breathing this air. Today it seems really nice.
Some of the information about this plant was that the workers told us that the emission of the stacks, the smoke would come out of here about 180 miles per hour, and naturally when it hit the air it would dissipate, but they have record 180 miles an hour of the smoke emission, and the EPA, so they got on them about that. So they are going to try to adjust that within 2 years. They have 4 units here that's coal fed, and they're supposed to convert 2 of them to gas fed, natural gas fed, and still maintain 2 of them coal. So that will cut down the emissions quite a bit.
My name is Rhoda Temple Morton, and I am a resident of the city of New Albany, Indiana. I was born here 50-something years ago, and I just enjoy the small town atmosphere. I've been to larger cities, but then I still prefer the closeness and the comfort of the small area. I am familiar with Gallagher. It's known to me as Gallagher Station because my father worked there as maintenance for 27 years. And it makes me wonder sometimes if he had acquired some form of cancer from working at the plant. I know that they did annual medical evaluations on him, and they did give him the report. He did lose about 30 to 40% of his hearing, and there were nodules that were on his lungs, but he did die of a liver cancer, which was secondary to a primary cancer that was unknown. The area
So my name is Ashara Ekundayo. I live in northeast Denver, Colorado, and we're here in Commerce City, which is 2 neighborhoods from my neighborhood at the Cherokee Station. The coal train actually runs through our neighborhood. So we see the train, every couple of hours right in our hood. And we know that, they mine the coal up north, in Wyoming and northern Colorado, and then it comes right through the hood. So here we are, and the fact that they're making the electricity, it's like anyone who is connected to, the movement that deals with climate justice and deals with, coal power plants, that market is everyone who engages and uses electricity in this country, which means all of us, And, only in the last 6 months, I've had 2 asthma attacks. I don't have asthma. Never had an asthma attack in my life. And in the last 6 months, I've had 2 asthma attacks. And I'm starting to wonder if it's connected to my environment. I'm 99.9% sure that it is.
I'm Stanley Miller, Executive Director of the Cleveland branch of the NAACP. The community around the power plant, now that we talk about it, has become a very vibrant part of the fabric of the community. There's baseball diamonds, as I said, the aquarium where people bring their families, used to be up there. There's a park, there's a state park, and there's a state beach that's really a stone's throw away, where families come and they celebrate and have a great time. And as we know, African Americans generally suffer more deeply with these types of illnesses like asthma and those kind of things. And it's just a shame that folks just don't know what's around the corner from that.
You know, we have baseball diamonds in the area. You know, children are playing here now, but this area is not nearly as vibrant as it was when I was growing up. When I was growing up, our family would come and go to the aquarium that's over in this area. We grew up with a very nice aquarium. Families would come out and have picnics. We would have baseball games. So it would just be a whole family environment. And again, we never knew about the toxic waste that was coming from the coal plant. Glenville, this is, one of the things about Cleveland is that it's like #1 in poverty in the country. This plant is right in the midst of the black community. And the fact that no one has made us aware of what's going on. Not our elected officials, not our community leaders. You don't hear anything about it, and it's killing our community.
What I've been noticing a lot lately is, you start seeing the coal burning, and you can tell that a lot of them don't clean the power plants, or they don't take the necessary precautions of really seem to have the perspective of it. So you can practically see it when you go down in the morning or when you're going back into the community. You can see a yellow smoke, a cake of smoke, and just a layer of it. It's getting thicker by the year. And what's really infuriating to me is that they're really taking our water, drinking water. It's sacred to us. We feel that that's an element of our life. And you're messing with the balance of life and everything. And what they're doing to the water is devastating again. And the way they're using coal slurring, by transporting coal, clean drinking water to transport coal. It's not right.
Okay, we're standing here by the We Energy plant, one of the plants here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have a few around the area, I understand. But what was happening here is that this plant here, I don't know exactly what all it does, but in the background here, you can see some coals back down there. And those coals that you see down there are there for the purpose of generating energies for human use. And one of the things we notice is that those coals are not covered up, protected there, and it certainly has some effect on the environment here.
My name is Craig Kelly, former president of the NAACP, and we're down here at Seaside Park. We call Bridgewood the Park City. We have some people that are fishing. Bridgewood's known as the Park Cities because it has several parks, and certainly years ago it was a place where people would go and have a great time. Just across the way, right over here, is Pleasure Beach. And Pleasure Beach is a great little peninsula. People used to have all amusement parks and over there, and people used to take their families over there, and they would have a great time. The children loved it. It was a great place. It's pretty much a barren land now, so for the most part. Also, we have a lot of pollutants in our community, and we have a high level of asthma. Our children have a high level of asthma and other respiratory diseases, and it makes it very, very difficult to get things done. I'm hoping at some point the EPA and hopefully maybe even the Department of Justice might look at it and say, things need to change in this community, because on one hand, yes, we do need industry. We do need industry. Certainly, we need companies and corporations to come into this community to lessen the tax burden, within this community. But we certainly need clean air.
And I am the coordinator for the Little Village Environmental Justice Organization. And currently we are in Chicago at the Fisk coal power plant. And this is the most densely populated coal power plant in the United States. So we've been working on the coal power plants for about 8 years now. Our original work around the plant came about due to a Harvard School of Public Health study that talked about 40 deaths a year, 5,000 asthma attacks a year, and 3,000 emergency room visits every year because of these coal power plants. As a community, we would like to see them shut down. They don't have a contract with the city or the state to provide electricity to us. All of their electricity is sold on the open market. And so that's a huge problem for us because these are basically cash cows for our Midwest generation. And we suffer the brunt for electricity that really isn't used in our city or in our state. We're a nuclear state. All of our power comes from nuclear energy. So we suffer the brunt in order for this company to make money. And that to us is really unfair and unjust. And so in this day and age, with more people understanding about the environment and more people understanding about environmental justice, we've been very fortunate in getting a lot more support locally, statewide, and nationally from folks to say what you're asking for is a good thing. Shutting them down and or cleaning them up is the right way to go. So we're very fortunate in that sense.
In particular, something that has been brought to our attention as registered nurses, as that's my practicing profession, is that we have a high incident of ER usage due to respiratory issues that are not being controlled. And when the doctors and the other healthcare professionals say, well, it's not being controlled because the people are not using their rescue inhalers as need be, and they're not doing follow-up care at the doctor's clinic visits, that's not necessarily what we're finding to be true. There are some conditions that the parents or even the children, try as they may, can't control, and that being the pollutions and the toxins that are in our environment, the air quality in particular. Now that is a big issue that I can guarantee you not a child or their parent can control. And that's what brings me to the Fisk and Crawford coal power plants. They are really in the Pilsen and the Little Village community, but that air quality or lack of quality air doesn't just stay and concentrate in Pilsen and Little Village. When the wind blows, it blows, and it'll move that the pollutants north, south, east, west. But we all know, hopefully, that wind blows on the westerly winds, and it blows downstream. And unfortunately, traditionally, historically, people who are economically disenfranchised find themselves in some of the worst areas as far as quality of air, quality of land, quality of water.
Hi, we're here in River Rouge, Michigan, where we're standing in front of a DTE power plant. River Rouge is known for its factories and the environmental issues that we have here in Michigan. As you can see behind me, the smokestacks and all of the factories. And right down the street, a little less than about a block and a half down, you can see actual homes where there's a full community of people living in this environment. We have a number of people who are fishing in this area. So this is a community that is a mixed community, but mostly minorities. You'll find a lot of Latinos, a lot of African Americans in this area. And you don't find, and I believe less than a block or so away is the elementary school. And so this area is very critical when it comes to the environmental issues and what's happening here in River Rouge.
Hi, my name is Robert Harper. I'm a resident of Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm here to talk with you about the Hudson plant that has been emitting large amounts of coal emissions in a community that I live in. The kinds of emissions that this particular coal plant is generating for the kinds of new developments that are happening is completely hazardous to all human health in and around the communities of Jersey City and Hoboken. And I know for a fact that many of the people that live in the community have no idea whatsoever about what's going on here, because gentrification is something that's been happening in our community in a big way. We have a lot of New York City residents that are moving here from New York City to Jersey City and to Hoboken. Many of them have no idea about the kinds of exposures for the coal generating plant that they're being exposed to. I can tell you, just knowing how the politics work in northern New Jersey, and particularly here in Hudson County, that residents are being deliberately kept in the dark as to the toxic exposures that are prevalent and well documented, you know what I mean, by the EPA and the NJDEP. So why something is not happening in our community about making this more well known and publicized for a lot of the residents that are either been living here for a long time or new to the area is mind-boggling. But given
Okay, hi. My name is Theodore Carrington. I'm the third vice president for the New Jersey State Conference of the NAACP. And, you know, here to talk about that proposed coal-fired plant in Linden. And I think that background, people need to understand about EJ and how it works, and I think the effect. They want to propose a coal-fired plant in a community that's already overburdened with industry, trucks, highway, energy plants, airport. The community is already overburdened. This is something at the NAACP, this is an opportunity for us to become a part of a major effort with environmental justice, because it hasn't been a mainstay on our plates in terms of our rights to have clean air, clean water, clean ground to work on. But it's time for us to use the strength that the NAACP has so that we're no longer discriminated against because of where we live and the color of our skin. Again, in our community where we're overburdened with crime, with drugs, with housing, with poor education, poor educational systems, here is another problem that we have to put on our plate, and quite frankly, it hasn't reached the forefront because the way that environmental issues have been presented, it doesn't look like it affects people of color. But the fact is that environmental justice is that we're being affected more. Global warming, climate change is not something that's going to affect people in the future. It's affecting us right now. And